I'm a Barbie girl. I remember that. I mean, welcome to Reckoning Brothers, everybody. I'm Mark, and I'm in the ice cold Midwest, where it's like cold as fuck and it's ice cold rain.
And I'm in the sunny west coast of Southern California, and it's beautiful outside right now. And Mark, I just want to say congratulations for recognizing we were recording. This is the first time that you've done that when I haven't said we were recording ahead of time. So you
I
are
also
on it.
haven't, yeah, I also haven't poured a drink yet, so you and Josh can get acquainted while I do that. But
Hi, Scott.
Hey, what's up,
Nice to
Josh?
meet
Okay, you should go get your drink, and I promise we're not going to talk shit about you or say anything
I think
about you
you
being
should do
super
that,
old.
though. You should do that. You
I
should
like that.
you should talk
Okay.
shit about me while I'm like
Okay.
going to get a drink.
Have your permission.
It's absolutely going to happen.
Okay. All right. Take your time.
So let's go. You and Josh start talking because I don't hear anything.
No,
When I
I'm
hear something-
waiting for you to go, and then we're going to start filling the time. And I'm totally not going to have to edit any of this. Which, so, anyways, Mark's old.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that. He has a very, he's really obsessed with John Wayne too. Which, you know what? I'm of two minds with his John Wayne obsession, because I know it's very of the time, and there's certain things that probably are very of the time, like Quentin Tarantino probably is, like people our age and a little older.
Yeah.
I do think he's more timeless. Actually, no,
I
Quentin Tarantino's great. He's more
really care
timeless.
for Tarantino.
Wait, what'd you just say? Repeat that.
I don't care for Tarantino. I don't like. I don't like it.
So my second favorite movie is Django Unchained. My third favorite movie is Inglorious Bastards. And you're telling me you don't care for Quentin Tarantino?
Not really.
You've
Because-
seen these movies, right? You've seen Inglorious
Yeah.
Bastards seems right up your alley. What?
Oh, absolutely. I've seen it, and it wouldn't make my top 100.
I don't know what to say except why.
Just like stop.
I didn't see it coming. I thought I knew you, and apparently I don't. And I revoke the invitation I gave you to my wedding. But what did you? How did you not like it? The other ones I could kind of see, but Inglorious Bastards.
No, I think Kill Bill kind of ruined it for me. I didn't like it. The blood and it's comedic killing. I don't.
It was over the top, and Kill Bill Volume 2, I think, was That's probably his most movie, in my opinion, so I could definitely see that. But Christoph Waltz in Inglorious Bastards is one of the single best performances that's ever been put to screen.
There's one thing that he does in that movie that's kind of like super dark as a villain, and it's not something you see regularly. And I don't know if he just said, let's do this because it's really fucking dark. But he drinks an entire glass of, he's drinking milk. You know, most of them are like drinking whiskey, scotch, whatever, or something. He's just drinking milk like a normal person and trying to level down. I don't know. I think it was a fascinating thing to add in there.
What's wrong with drinking milk?
When you're a super villain in the SS and you just killed hundreds of people, it kind of comes.
I didn't like the movie Kill Bill. I haven't seen Django Unchained.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You haven't seen Django Unchained?
No.
I thought I knew the both of you. This is getting...
I've at least seen it.
Okay. All right.
What?
Sorry, Mark. Please continue. I can't even talk about this anymore. I'm just too upset.
You look really good today, Scott. You look very handsome today.
Thank you. You don't have to say it. I'm just going to assume that now every time that you're looking at me that's what you're thinking. But thank you. That's very, very kind.
Oh, boy, that's confidence.
Probably that. No, just him, not everybody. It's not like I think everybody that looks at me is thinking that.
You look very hot today, Scott. You look very hot. You look very Scott. I like as you know, I like to call you Scotty, the handsome Jew.
Yes.
And it's because you're hot, and movie.
Okay, he probably didn't recognize that one. When I said everybody wants to fuck him, I was referencing something else. Mark, you know what I'm talking about.
Movie theaters like to put Scott on their popcorn.
Are
hot
you
butter.
coming up with these on the spot? Because if so, I'm kind of impressed. But I think you might be using Chat GPT or something.
I do not. I swear to God. I swear to fucking God. I've never used GTP. Never.
He was angry to use
Scott, you're so hot that crack pipe lighters use you to light their fucking crack pipes.
You've done that one before.
I have not done that one before. The one I have done
I
before.
will check the records.
No, the one I've done before is Scotty is hotter than a crack pipe on the sun.
Mm-mm.
I think
He did
he's
that.
right. I
He
think
did that.
Mark's right. I think he's right. I think that that's the one he used. I will check the records. I will say one thing. You were in a chipper mood, Mark, and I did not expect that because I know what you wanted to talk about today, and I figured you would just come in guns blazing, angry.
So we'll keep up the triple mood for a few minutes, and before
He's
we
going
get
to
into
rage what he says, what he wants to say.
before
I
we get
know
into
it.
Kami, Ma'am, Donnie, the new mayor of New York, or soon to be, when he's inaugurated. I want to know what song that you like, and Josh, what song you like, and we can do more than one. I heard this the other day, and I thought it was an interesting question. What song do you like that you would be reticent or reluctant to tell your bro friends about? Now, Josh knows like at least one of the songs that would have mentioned. Our group of bro friends, Scotty, after you moved to California, like to pick on Sparky about liking this song, and that's fine and cool. But like if you were like around, like bro friends, but you're not your close friends, bro friends that already know that you like this song. Like, what song would you be embarrassed for people to know that you like?
I don't think I'm too embarrassed about some of the embarrassing songs I like, but what comes to mind is Despacito. I freaking love Despacito. I love that song. It's so good. Just because it's a pop song, just because it's kind of simple, doesn't mean you should be embarrassed. There's a reason why you go on and you see 2 or 3 billion views of songs like that on YouTube, right? It's just good. You just have to allow yourself to like it and just,
I think my top one. I think my top one is "Living La Vida Loca" by Ricky Martin.
amazing song.
I love that.
That- That's
Josh has given me endless grief for liking that song. So is our and I'm like,
Are we allowed to say names like that? Because I was doing a reference to those people earlier, and
He
nobody
can say
got
the names all he wants. I just edit them out every time he does it.
Okay,
I mean, nobody's going to know who they are.
where's he going? What are you doing?
Nowhere. I just had to blow my nose, man. Can we do it on screen?
Yeah, that'll be lovely.
Mark's not going to keep saying I'm hot if I'm doing that shit on screen.
I have another song admission.
Okay, let me give mine.
Okay,
Oh, yeah,
I-
please.
Mark, you probably haven't heard of this one. Scott, you may have heard of them. Two Door Cinema Club. Have you heard of them?
I've heard the name of the band. Definitely
Okay,
I've heard the name of
it's
the
an
band.
Irish band, and they have a pop kind of punky pop song that really I will only play it by myself in the car, and I will scream it at the top of my lungs. But if anybody else is in the car, that song's not getting played. Go ahead.
Oh, wait. I've got one.
What?
This is legit. I'm actually kind of ashamed of it. Hey Soul Sister by Train. I do legitimately like that song.
What
Hey,
about what
what
about
about-
what about "Whip It" by Devo?
There's no reason to be embarrassed about that song. That's just a good song.
Whip it good.
Yeah. I think that doesn't. In order for something to be embarrassing, it's got to be too girly or too poppy. I think for a guy to be embarrassed by it, right? I can't think of another reason.
Can we also lean into the gangster rap where white guy pulls up next to black guy and turns volume down?
Yeah, okay, that's kind of a different thing, but I'd be like, oh shit, I can't be.
I can't be
I can see that instinct for sure.
the Office Space or
Yeah, the
Office.
Office Space thing. Yeah.
He's on the 404, I think, or something. And he's like, he's rapping to the whole thing, and then he just turns it way down.
I've got one more that I would never play loud with my windows down at a red light.
Shake that.
Oh, LMFAO. Yeah.
That's not bad.
That's not a bad song either.
It's a
I
great
think we're all
song.
in agreement that all of these embarrassing songs are really just great songs, and we shouldn't be
Well, that's
embarrassed.
because I haven't mentioned Karen Carpenter.
Oh boy.
Okay, then.
We've only just begun.
My mom was a big fan of the Carpenters, and I had to listen to that several of those songs.
Mark, did you want to get into the meat and potatoes?
Well, we'll just start off by asking, what do you think about Zoran Mandani, getting elected mayor of New York? We knew it was inevitable. We knew it was going to happen. Like everybody saw the polls. What do you think about that? Give me a full report, Scott.
Well, no, I think he turned me into a socialist because 2 hours of straight smiling is all I need to be convinced. Smiling and stupid government policies. As far as I can tell, that's pretty much that guy's whole thing. But I think we should all be ashamed of ourselves by losing those people. I think it is just a learning experience. I think a lot of good could still come of it when we see how fucked up, if he gets to implement these policies, how fucked up they are, how much they don't work. Let's just have 2025 technology pointing the eye of Sauron at this so we can learn. That's the best case scenario, I think. Me being optimistic, that's how I feel. I think it could be good because we get to see the
What I,
shit.
what I found interesting was Trump was endorsing Cuomo at the end there.
He didn't
Trying to
Didn't
even
go.
know that.
It wasn't an endorsement. What Cheetos said was, if I had to choose between a communist and a bad Democrat, I'm going to choose the bad Democrat every time. It wasn't an endorsement.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That's kind of an endorsement.
It's about the most tepid endorsement you could possibly give, but
It was really quite telling.
well, he's not gonna support Zoran Mamdani. There's no way. I didn't know he said that though. That's interesting.
This is really smart, and I'm going to read it, and I agree with it. Here's what I think will happen under Mamdani in New York City. The free buses and government grocery stores won't happen. They never do. They sound good during the campaign or during campaigns, but collapse under basic math. You can't run a city on ideas that cost billions and produce no revenue. The only way to make housing affordable is to build more housing. The free market lowers prices, not regulation. Every time politicians try to control rent or force affordability by decree, developers stop building and landlords stop maintaining buildings. Supply dries up, the quality collapses, and the few properties that remain skyrocket in price. Once landlords can't make a profit, they sell. They lose properties or walk away. Eventually, the government takes over. Taxes will rise to pay for the promises, and the middle class will be the ones shouldering the burden. The rich will relocate, the poor will depend on subsidies, and the productive class will be squeezed from both sides. Thriving businesses are the foundation of any thriving city. When they leave, everything else follows: jobs, schools, grocery stores, stability. Chicago already proved this. Boeing, McDonald's, Caterpillar, Citadel, 70,000 jobs, all gone. Now they're facing billion-dollar deficits, half-empty schools, and neighborhoods without grocery stores. I saw
Detroit
someone who
too.
lived in I saw someone who lived in a rent-controlled apartment in California who put it perfectly. He said that his landlord could no longer afford maintenance, so the pool was filled with dirt, the floors had soft spots, and the foundation ended up cracking. That's what overregulation does. It destroys quality. People who voted for this will eventually feel the pain, but they won't blame the policies of the politicians. They'll blame the rich people for leaving. This conversation is always difficult because most people simply do not understand market dynamics or incentives. In a free society, people act in their own self interest. If you remove profit and reward dependency, productivity dies and the city dies with it. If you think things are expensive now, just wait until they're free. And
Amen. I couldn't agree anymore. I could not agree anymore.
I just thought that was really well done.
Fantastic.
And if I had time to write that this week, that's basically what I would have said.
I kind of thought at the end you were gonna say, and that's what I wrote and put on X. But
No.
Obviously, it wasn't you, but very well said. No, 100%. The real thing that's scary is how much people don't want to know how economics really works. It's kind of a mix of like laziness and intimidation and fear of having their beliefs challenged. I think it's kind of those three things. But it's hard. Economics is hard, but it's not really that hard. And you can learn it on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? So especially like why rent control doesn't work is easily shown to you on a series of YouTube videos. You can watch videos of landlords that have rent control apartments that can't rent them because they're a loss to rent because of rent control. This is a real thing. And that's just one of the many reasons why this doesn't work. If people were more educated, one thing I hope isn't right about what you just said, it probably is, but I hope it isn't, is a part where people will just continue to blame the rich rather than blame policies. Maybe I'm just being foolishly optimistic because I would like to think that some people would
They're
open
going
up
to
their
blame the
eyes.
rich, and they're going to blame racism, and they're going to blame conservatives. They're
Well,
going to
some
say,
people always will forever till the end of time. But do you think there's a possibility of gaining ground with just kind of normal people that aren't that far out?
in this environment, it's so hard to tell, Scott. No, I think that the woke left, the activist left, the activist progressives. I don't believe that people who ran around tearing down the posters of kidnapped Jewish babies the day after, within days of the October 7th massacre. No, I don't think that they're ever going to get it. No, I don't.
Will any of the cocktail party class, people that wear stupid looking glasses and always vote liberal, but might actually have a brain in their heads?
It's so interesting and funny that you mentioned that, because a lot of people went online and said, finally, the billionaire class is going to get it. They're going to get what they deserve, and fuck the billionaires, and I hope they all leave New York. I hope the top 1% that promised to leave leaves. And then, of course, me being Mr. Research, of course, did a little bit of research. The top 1% of earners in New York pay 52.8% of all the government in New York. Have fun paying for all the government you want without the people that you think should leave or the people that you're asking to leave, number one. Number two, let me show you pictures of Zoran Mandani with Alex Soros, with their arms around each other. That aesthetic, that image, it's the right kind of. It's okay if you're the right kind of billionaire with anyone on the hard left, right? With anyone on the left, or especially the hard left, as long as you're the right kind of billionaire, the right kind of rich person, right? My core belief is, if you're a Marxist or a socialist or a communist, and let's not beat around the bush with the whole Democratic Socialists of America deal, that he's not really a communist, he's not really a socialist. Okay, he's on video embracing seizing the means of production. Can he do that in New York? No. Yeah. He's on video. He's on the record endorsing Stalinists, hammer and sickle mayors in other countries. This is the kind of mayor that this city needs, right? He's on the record talking about, he's treated from each according to his need, to each according to his ability. Marx's phrase, Marx's quotes. All right. So, yeah, I'm not going to pussyfoot around with the whole, he's not really a communist. He's a democratic socialist.
He's a communist. I think it's worth pointing out, too, that he's full balls in the worst of 2020 summer of love wokeism, too. The pictures of him flipping off Christopher Columbus statue, handful of other things. He's just one of those people. He's one of those. He probably wanted to, but was too much of a pussy to throw Molotov cocktails at a court building in Portland.
Absolutely. And he's on video with, the communist newspaper, right? Communist Party of America newspaper, passing it out and talking about, taking over properties, by force, You
had to have seen some clips of his dad speaking too, right? And Jesus Christ, dude. And, this guy couldn't be any more tailor-made to be a spoiled fucking
and the whole, and like he's a nepo baby millionaire Marxist who's never had a real job. You
Rap
know,
career is a real job, Mark. The rap game is tough. Oh no, wait, it isn't unless you actually came from the streets. Then it's tough. If you're given everything, then it's not tough. I'm sorry.
it's very yeah. So my
Do
biggest
you wait? Wait,
concern,
I'm sorry. I don't think you. So you don't think that anything good really can come of this? You don't think that anyone is gonna see the light, even nationwide?
I'm on the record. I'm on the record saying that repeating what's already been said. That every generation and a half or so, every couple of generations, every 25 or 30 years, or 20 to 30 years, we have to watch socialism fail once again to be
This is a
reminded.
the famous George Will kind of mentality,
Correct. Yeah.
right? You just have to. You have no choice. You got to see it fuck up.
In which he cites, post-war England when they tossed out Churchill and brought in the socialists, and the leading, one of the leading voices behind, in that movement. It was a member of parliament. He said he famously proclaimed, I don't remember the guy's name, that that England was an island made of coal surrounded by fish. So what could possibly go wrong? And in 2 or 3 years, there were shortages of, guess what, coal and fish. And I actually looked up, when I heard George Will say that. It's absolutely true. Like, all of it is true.
Can you do in your best Reagan impression his famous worst 9 words that you can possibly hear, scariest 9 words you could possibly hear?
Yeah, I can. I'm from the government, and we're here to help.
Says that that's such a fucking good line because it pretty much explains it all. Yeah. So you're saying it's not so much that anything good is going to come from it, but fuck, dude, we have to have this, so might as well.
Yeah,
This is happening. Let's try our best to learn from it.
Yeah,
Is the right attitude.
yeah, absolutely. The great Daniel Greenfield wrote something, and I just want to touch on a couple of points about what he wrote. Um, how did an Islamist socialist who posed with an unindicted terror bombing conspirator become elected to head a city of terror survivors, the most Jewish city in America? And how did he defeat an Italian American political dynasty in what was once an Italian American city? And it's a really good question. And he answered it with a lot of data. New York Jewish population decline versus Muslim population rise, 1950 to 1923. And you can likely guess what the Jewish population in New York has declined from 26% in 1950 to 11% today. And the Muslim increase in population has gone from -0.0 in 1950 to almost 10%. And his next question is, and by the time Zohran Mamdani beat Andrew Cuomo, there were more Muslims than Italian Americans in New York City. So much for New York being the most Jewish city in America, or Italian city, like so many European cities. It's been redefined by waves of Muslim mass migration. Now, that's empirically true, and that this is not an indictment of Muslim Americans per se, but mass immigration has a lot to do with what happened in this election. I think it was 80% of his voters weren't born in the United States.
That's a hell of a
And
statistic.
have lived in the United States, and it was a huge percentage of how many of them had lived in the United States for less than 10 years. So just to be clear, I don't want to get accused of doing the replacement theory thing, etc. These are just numbers. These are just demographic facts. And if you allow mass migration, legal and illegal, and one supposes that the illegal aliens in New York didn't vote in this election, but demographically, New York has changed in ways that none of us would would have dreamed fathomable just in the last 20 or 30 years, right?
It's huge. I think that's a very solid point. He got something like 36% of the Jewish vote, though. If I remember right, I could be wrong. I'll look it up and put it on the fucking thing.
I think
But
it was something like that. Yeah.
I think it's a combination of a lot of things, like everything else in life. But no, my point is just that it's multifaceted. He did win a decent amount of the Jewish vote, and I think people feel desperation. Is what I'm trying to say. Even though they might be not really be desperate because they could move somewhere, they just don't want to. So they feel desperate, and they're in this desperate mindset. And it's also, hey, here's a new cool guy, and young people just love commies. Always have, probably
Yeah,
always will.
I'd like to know. I'd like to know the stats, the breakdown of how many of those 36% of Jews that voted for him were Jewish in name only. In that,
Ginos, Jewish
yeah,
in name only.
yeah, technically Jewish, but not spiritually Jewish, and with zero connection.
Yeah, probably only 5% of that 36% actually go to synagogue, kind of thing.
I think we're talking about young leftist Jews that go to Columbia.
Yeah, it's the Columbia thing.
Yeah. So, to your point, the majority of households in New York are single now. So the number of families continues to drop while exit polls didn't ask about marital status. Single people tend to vote more liberal. Pre-election polls showed Mamdani winning 16% of Jews, 28% among Catholics, 36% among Protestants. My biggest concern for New York, and I also want to get this out there. People on the right that are talking about blah, blah, Sharia law, it's going to get Sharia law, and putting up memes of Zohar Mamdani flying an airplane into the World Trade Center, and that kind of stuff.
That's just too far.
It needs to be denounced. It needs to be condemned. And of course, no, New York is not going to get Sharia law. That's just, all of that stuff is crazy. My biggest concern, and this is going to surprise you guys, I think, it shouldn't, because as well as you know me, maybe it won't surprise you at all. My biggest concern is the soft on crime policies. He campaigned on emptying Rikers. He's all in on, cashless bail, releasing repeat criminals, illegal aliens, migrants who are here illegally or committing crimes, putting them up in hotels, etc. He's all down for that woke shit. And the problem with that is the very people who are the most enthusiastic about Zohar Mamdani, they're going to be the first victims. Like,
amen. Yeah,
I have a lot of friends in the LGBTQ community at work.
In your bedroom.
Yeah. So, what's that?
I said in your bedroom, but that does not surprise me at all. I think that's very wise to be concerned about those things, because that's what's going to have the practical effect in people's lives. They're going to see that kind of crime.
The people that were most enthusiastic about it, the young woke activist left, the far left, the guy with thick glasses and weak lungs who has twigs for arms, who couldn't defend himself or his girlfriend.
Me with a different political attitude. Got it.
Right. Members of the LGBTQ community, hardcore feminists, those people are now going to be put at a much greater risk of being victims of crime because of the crime policies he has endorsed. And earlier you asked me, would it change anybody's minds later on when it fails? With the scenario that I just gave you, one can only hope. One can hold out some hope. I certainly would hope that somebody that in a marginalized, a homeless person who's living on the street, a gay person, a trans person, a single feminist, a third wave feminist.
You're stereotyping.
I'm not stereotyping. Those people exist.
Okay.
I don't want anybody to be a victim of crime. I certainly don't want the most vulnerable to be targeted even more than they already are. And I think that's going to happen. And I think it's very sad.
One of the worst policies that the far left has is that a human being doesn't have the right to defend themselves. It's an awful policy, and this is going to make that worse. And I agree 100%. Good on you for pointing that out. Yeah.
Yeah. So, Josh, I didn't understand what Josh's dunk on me was.
That you like dick in your mouth all the time and you love it and you can't go 24 hours without it. Otherwise, you're going to freak the fuck out and call him and be like, Josh, I haven't had dick in 24 hours. Oh my God, I'm going to cry. Because he gets sick. He's told me that he gets sick of those phone calls. And I'm so sorry that you have to figure it out this way. I should have told you privately, and I apologize.
I'm just out there trying to, get money for drugs. And Josh is always like,
if it wasn't for, there were better government policies, drugs would be less expensive and you wouldn't have to do that.
he's like the shoulder I like to cry on when, I'm not getting enough dick for enough drugs.